Hello, I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the program. Today I'd like to continue the series, The Art of Buying and Selling Watches. And I want to just give you some advice. And today's lesson I wanted to talk to you about is you've got to be prepared to walk away from the deal if it isn't to your liking. And, this is a simple thing. Whether you're buying a wristwatch or a used car, you've really got to be prepared to walk. I mean, if the deal isn't good for you, you've got to be prepared to walk. And, this is the whole thing. I tell you this now. The used car business is a brutal game. If you list a car for sale and it hasn't sold within 6 weeks, it means your price is too expensive. And this is the whole thing. When it comes to used bangers, the same mythology can apply to luxury wristwatches. If you're buying a watch, you've got to be prepared to walk away from the deal. If the deal isn't value to you, walk away. Now, that's not to say that you are solely right. The price you may have offered too little. But you've got to be prepared. If you're going to buy pieces, you've got to be prepared to walk away from the deal. And, I often think, one thing you've got to really do yourself is do your homework. One of the most important things is you've got to know what a good deal is. And the reason I say that is, if you don't know what a good deal is, right, how do you know? If you don't know what good value is, how do you know if it's a good deal or not? And just because it's cheap doesn't necessarily make something a great deal. And you just got to know these things. And when the right piece comes along, you can jump for it. And a classic example is my Patek Philippe annual calendar 5035. And that's a piece that came into Brisbane Vintage Watches. And it's a piece, that I saw. I inquired, what is the price? And he told me what the price he'd sold it for. And he told me I immediately said, well, I would have paid a bit more for it. That's how good the deal was. Some people, it's not just a matter of you get a price and you always lowball, whatever they offer, you go cheaper. I mean, that sometimes works, but you've got to understand what value is on these pieces. The annual calendar, it was really, really good buying. And I said to him, that's fantastic. I said, in my own mind, when I was looking for the annual calendar, my own view was the price should be about $20,000, and you could claim the GST back. So $18,000 without, because I was planning on a holiday. So $18,000 all up it could cost me. And anyhow, this is the whole thing. You need to know what value is. And I actually bought it a lot cheaper than that. And the funny thing is, many months later, he offered to buy it back at what they sold it to me. So in some ways, I may have got it a bit cheaper than I perhaps should have. But you've got to know when is a deal a great deal. And you've got to jump for it. Other times I've had great deals offered to me, but I really didn't have the $10,000 to make it a reality. You got to know your budgets and you got to have your money in order. And I said, hey, I love it, but I never was lowballing. I just said, he offered it to me at a price. I said, look, I really, at this point in time, I don't have the funds in place. And, I'd never dick around with somebody. If I'm going to buy it, I'll buy it. But you've got to understand what is a good price on, and you've got to know the models. There are some models which may appear cheap but are dogs. You don't want all dogs in your collection. And this is partly why I don't just sell off pieces that I get a great offer on, because at the end of the day, I've seen collections where they've cherry-picked all the good pieces and they're left with the dog turds. And that's not what you want. That's not the name of the game. The game is to build a good, valuable, nice collection. That's what you really want to do. It's not a matter of getting dog shit. And I gotta say, in all honesty, you gotta do your homework and learn the margins and what's a fair price. And that's the best advice I can have. Get a good relationship with a good, honest used watch dealer. And the funny thing is, I've bought things, and I've often been able, I think myself, the art of buying and selling. What is the art of buying and selling? And it's to be able to get your money back at any time on pieces you've bought. And that's what I like to see. I like to have pieces where I can get my money back. And it's basically the dividend, although I don't like to use the word investment with luxury watches, I can really get my money back, and the satisfaction of owning it for a period of time has been free. And that's what I love about this game. It's a game. It's a skills game. Buying and selling watches. And now I'm in a situation where I really don't sell things. I don't buy things to sell. I buy things because I like them. And it's all come good. In recent times, it's come good. And I look back and I sold a lot of pieces I wish I had another chance at, but the pieces I've got now are bloody good. I've got a really impressive, nice collection. I've got 2 wonderful Pateks. I've got a Calatrava in white gold. I've got a yellow gold annual calendar. So I've got the complication and the perfect dress watch to a T. I've got a wonderful steel Reverso, grand size, big size Reverso, 8-day power reserve. That's just gorgeous. I love it. I've got a Breguet flyback chronograph, and why did I buy the Breguet? Because many years ago, 13 years ago, I saw my first Breguet Type 20. It was actually in Ehrenvale, and I thought, wow, this is just such a beautiful chronograph. And that's what I like to see. It's not a matter of, it's a cheap Breguet or it's, that's the justification for getting it. I saw one 13 years ago and thought, fuck, this is just a beautiful Breguet. And the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, that's just a classic piece, which is it's just legendary. And all my pieces they're all beautiful things, and I love them. The art of buying and selling. It's buying things and being able to get your money back if necessary. And when I say if necessary, I mean don't buy things you can't afford. But you might get a bug to buy a 911 Porsche used. You might want to get do something. It's just liquidity. And that's what it comes down to. For me, the art of buying and selling is to buy wonderful pieces that you really love, that give you satisfaction and pleasure, and to buy pieces which make you happy. Because at the end of the day, that's what the important thing is. It's your happiness. What makes you happy? And to me, it's hoarding and possessing luxury goods. I'm Archie Luxury. Tell me what you fuckers think.